speaking with Cindy S. Lee, and you of course know her well, and she's my heart. And so she talks about doing Tai Chi, and I was thinking that's exactly the direction I hope many more of us go into. Embodied, not just praying and staying in our heads, but she said a lot of times in Eastern Christianity or Eastern religions, you will pray with your eyes open because you don't want to lose contact with the world, the seen world. And I thought, that's pretty brilliant. We got to get out of our thinking monkey brains too, that kind of chatter to us all the time. You know, we're not able to actually get into our body where we might feel less anxiety because we feel like we're touching the earth, not just hanging on to problems. And so those are the embodied practices, are ones I'm going to more often, and feeling human again, in a sense, instead of just in my head. And all the ones that you mentioned are ones that the contemplative ones are ones that were practiced. Also holding vigil. I'm going to have a lot of these practices in the new book, but waiting or holding vigil and holy tears. And that's not something you could just go holy tears, but it is this idea of this gratitude and compunction or remorse. It's these kind of smashing together of these two things in gratitude and joy and the relief of being forgiven. And it can produce tears. And so they were very much into that. Your repentance should be the kind that would be strong enough to produce tears, because you are sorry and you're so grateful. And just being in a place to receive that, so that all kinds of things that would be bring you into greater humility, service to others, giving in secret, many of those things where you give to someone when you will not benefit. So Abba Moses, who was from Ethiopia, he would fill up the brothers' water jugs at night while they slept as a service to them. And he was just so beloved and such a humble man, the patron saint of nonviolence. Just it's a beautiful story. I'm so happy to bring his story to more people. And yeah, there's just a bunch of things that have to do mainly with not having an inflated ego and serving others. There's a lot that's like that.
Yeah, I love that. It's so funny. I don't know that I considered my tears a spiritual practice. I embrace them. And I'm not ashamed of them, and I allow them to come. And I've always described it that, like, when the spirit stirs my heart, like when I feel that tears are the only appropriate response as far as I'm concerned for me. But I had never really languaged it as holy tears as a spiritual practice. So I'm so grateful that you said that. That touched my heart. So that is me all day.
Yeah, and it was considered a gift, the gift of tears. And I think of the psalmist, tears are my bread. You know, it doesn't mean that they're always happy tears. They can be tears of grief too. They can be tears of joy. They can be any sorts of tears, but the tears are your bread, because you're in a position to be vulnerable enough to cry. And that's not going to be everybody. That's not going to be us all the time, where we are, wherever we are. But that if you are crying, if you find yourself crying, you might have the gift of tears. They're holy tears. And that's a beautiful thing in God's sight.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you so much for saying that. I appreciate that. I'm going to